Have you ever imagined the adrenaline of a rodeo bull bucking? The animal's body arching in the air as the cowboy tries to maintain his balance with every uncontrolled movement. It's a moment of pure tension and emotion, where brute strength and human skill meet in a spectacle of talent. But what makes a rodeo bull behave this way? What goes through the animal's mind and the cowboys as this dance of resistance takes place? Rodeo, more than a competition, is a game of endurance and overcoming, involving a history of training, tradition, and courage. Now imagine yourself in the shoes of those who ride these wild animals, defying gravity and danger. What really happens when the bull starts to buck? Let's explore that now. Rodeo is not just a sport. It's a true test of endurance and skill. For the cowboy, the ability to ride a bucking bull is the ultimate test of courage. On the other hand, for the bull, bucking is not just a reaction, it's a wild instinct in search of freedom. This behavior results from intense training of the animals, which are specifically selected for this type of competition. Even though the bulls undergo rigorous training, their instinct for resistance remains strong. And the cowboy, in turn, must prepare physically and mentally to face the animal. It's hours of training, effort, and overcoming to be ready for the competition. Imagine the tension of being just seconds away from the start of the rodeo, feeling the bull's sudden movements and the imminent danger. With every movement of the animal, the cowboy must adjust his body, his center of gravity, and remain steady without losing his composure. The battle, therefore, is both physical and psychological. For the bull, it's a fight for its freedom, and for the cowboy, it's an opportunity to prove that he has what it takes to master that moment of raw strength and energy. In the world of rodeo, every movement counts. Every second is crucial to ensure victory. That's why cowboys train with the same intensity as the bulls. Rodeo is not just a fight against the animal. It's an internal struggle against the human limits. Rodeo is an ancient practice deeply rooted in the culture and tradition of various rural peoples, especially those connected to the countryside. In Brazil, rodeo has evolved over the years, becoming one of the largest entertainment spectacles, with competitions that attract thousands of spectators and generate significant investments. But what happens behind the scenes of this sport? What factors influence the performance of the bulls and the cowboys? And why, despite all the risk involved, do so many dedicate themselves to this sport? First, rodeo bulls are selected based on specific traits such as strength, endurance, and aggressive behavior. Each animal has a unique personality, making them unpredictable and therefore challenging for cowboys. The selection of bulls considers not only their bucking ability, but also their performance history in previous competitions. The genetics of these animals also play a crucial role, with some bulls being bred to intensify the bucking and resistance movements. However, a bull's performance in the rodeo depends not only on its physical and genetic traits, but also on its training. Although the animal's wild instinct is strong, it is also conditioned to respond to the cowboy's stimuli. Bulls are trained from a young age, becoming accustomed to the swift and forceful movements cowboys make during the competition. This training process aims not only to increase the animal's aggressiveness, but also to help it develop the skill to buck with greater intensity. It is this combination of physical strength, instinct, and training that makes rodeo bulls so impressive and unpredictable. Now, from the cowboy's perspective, the demands are equally challenging. To ride a bull, the cowboy must be prepared both physically and mentally. Physical preparation involves endurance, strength, and balance. Cowboys undergo intense training, such as cardiovascular and strength workouts, to withstand the impact of riding a bull and enduring falls. Furthermore, mental preparation is crucial, as the cowboy needs to control fear, anxiety, and adrenaline during the rodeo. Staying calm in a situation of imminent danger while making quick decisions is something that requires mental discipline. The cowboy's mind needs to be sharp like a blade to handle the unpredictability of the rodeo. Another interesting issue that involves the dynamic between bulls and cowboys is the role of the trainers and caretakers of the animals. For the rodeo to be safe and fair, it is essential to have a respectful relationship between the animal and the team involved. This includes veterinarians, trainers, and caretakers who ensure the well-being of the bull before, during, and after the competition. Bull training should be done responsibly, without harming or mistreating the animal, which is a crucial point for the sport's ethics. In many modern rodeos, there is increasing awareness about animal welfare, with practices aimed at reducing the stress and suffering of the bulls. Finally, it is important to highlight that rodeo is not just a physical competition, but also a strategy contest. Cowboys don't just ride the bulls. They need to understand the animal's behavior and anticipate its movements. This requires a level of reading and intuition that goes beyond brute strength. The cowboy needs to be in tune with the bull, observing its signs and adjusting their posture to maintain balance. Each rodeo is unique with its own challenges and surprises. Even the most experienced cowboys face difficulties and must learn from each attempt. Now that we've explored all aspects of rodeo, we can answer the initial question, why do rodeo bulls buck? The answer is not simple, as it involves a combination of natural and trained factors, both from the animal and the cowboy. The bulls, with their brute strength and wild instincts, are prepared to resist and move with intensity, creating an impressive display of endurance. Meanwhile, the cowboys, with their courage and skills acquired through extensive training and overcoming challenges, are able to face this challenge and often tame the strength of a wild animal. Rodeo, therefore, is more than just a competition. It's a test of endurance, courage, and technique, where both the cowboy and the bull become part of an unpredictable dance. With emotion always at its core, the impact of this theme on the lives of those who watch is immense. When we witness rodeo, we are challenged to reflect on the overcoming of our own limits. What can we learn from the cowboys and the bulls? That often, life places us in situations where we need to fight against difficulties, whether in the form of physical or psychological adversity. Rodeo reminds us that endurance and perseverance, no matter how challenging, are key to achieving our goals. It's not just about winning, but about continuing to fight, even when the obstacles seem impossible to overcome. Additionally, rodeo also teaches us about respect for the animal, the trainers, the cowboys, and even the audience. In a sport where risk and adrenaline are always present, ethics and concern for the well-being of everyone involved become essential elements. Rodeo should not only be seen as a display of strength, but as a showcase of skill, preparation, and respect for nature and the people who are part of this story. By better understanding the complexity behind a bull bucking, we see that rodeo is not just about strength, but also strategy and psychology. The cowboy faces not only the animal, but also his own fears and limitations. When riding a bull, he puts into practice all his experience and training, knowing that every second he may be challenged or even defeated. But true victory is not about staying on top of the bull until the last second, but about continuing to try, learning from mistakes, and above all, respecting the intensity of this relationship between man and animal. Ultimately, rodeo is a metaphor for life. In all of our struggles, whether physical or emotional, it takes courage, strategy, and most importantly, resilience to move forward, no matter how many challenges arise along the way. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you are a person of success. This shows that you have the spirit of perseverance, just like the cowboys and rodeo bulls who face great challenges every day. No matter how tough the fight is, the important thing is to keep moving forward, learning from mistakes, and continuing to try. Now, I want to invite you to reflect on what you can overcome in your life. What are the bulls you need to ride? Rodeo is a metaphor for our own battles, and each of us has our own bulls to face, whether they're professional, personal, or even internal challenges. Did you enjoy this content? Then make sure to watch other videos on our Celebrities Farm channel. I'll leave two suggestions for you right here on the final screen. One about the history of rodeo and another about how cowboys prepare physically to face this challenging sport. I'm sure you'll love them. Now, if you were inspired by this journey of overcoming and endurance, comment below with your favorite phrase from this video. I'd love to know what impacted you the most. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a like to keep following all our videos. Your interaction is very important to us.